Well, the last half of 2022 brought with it the great resignation and quiet quitting. Well, there's a new labor trend starting up in the new year. It's called quiet hiring. So joining us now to explain this latest workplace trend, I guess, is Emily Rose McRae. She's the Senior Director of Research at Gartner, a management consulting company. Thank you for joining us. So the thing about quiet hiring is...
What is the thing?
What's the phrase? It's a something by another name? There's
a rose.
A rose, like it's like a, but it's not so rosy.
It doesn't
but it's
smell
basically
as nice?
No, it doesn't. But it's another name for something we're all too familiar with. Can you please explain what quiet hiring is?
Sure. And from my perspective, it is actually a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. So if quiet quitting is when organizations lose skills and abilities without actually losing headcount because people aren't going above and beyond anymore because they don't want to. Mm-hmm. Quiet hiring is them getting new skills and capabilities without hiring new full-time employees. So they can do that a couple different ways. It could be redeploying some internal mobility, moving people from one part of the company to another. It can be stretch assignments, or it could be hiring gig and contract workers. But the thing that makes it really different from the past is that it's coming from the top. So instead of it being an individual employee pushing for it, or maybe their manager being able to block it, this is your senior leadership saying, we need talent over here. We don't have enough headcount. We're going to move it. We're going to decide to make things slower over here. We're acknowledging that we're going to be understaffed on this part of the business so that we can move people to the part where it matters the most for us.
So this idea of quiet hiring has gotten some pushback, as you can imagine. Former Ohio Senator Nina Turner tweeted, quote, "If your company starts quiet hiring, it's time to quiet organize." So what are the benefits for employees?
So I think that's actually a really fair point. What do you get out of this? We're still in a talent shortage. There's still a massive need for talent, which is the whole reason organizations are starting to look within the organization for the skills that they can't get outside and they can't afford to maybe hire massive numbers of new headcount for. So ask for what you want. Figure out what this means for your career, whether you're going to be compensated additionally, whether you're going to get a bump when it comes to performance management time. This should be an equal exchange. This shouldn't be adding more work without additional compensation of some sort.
Yeah, because what she's saying there about it's time to quiet organize is she's suggesting that the company is taking advantage of you. But it sounds like you're saying that that's not necessarily the case, that employees can get something out of it too.
Not only can, but should. So employees have a lot of power right now. A lot of organizations would be in really dire straits if more of their employees left. They don't want them to leave. So there should be an exchange going on here. You should be able to say, okay, I'm willing to do this, but what's in it for me? Mm-hmm. We have examples of, for instance, airlines having executives do baggage handling, and the executives were expected to just do it as part of their role. But if you were a rank and file employee and you agreed to help with baggage handling, you were getting additional compensation. You were not just being told, thank you, this is very much appreciated, but also we are going to pay you more while you do this.
Right.
If companies are having difficulty obtaining and retaining talent, should other incentives like higher pay be considered?
The answer is yes. No one's going to argue with that.
It's sort of a pointed question, right? Which is like, all this rigmarole, pay people what they're worth, the value of the work that they contribute, and maybe you don't have to do this quiet anything.
Well, the reason people are turning to things like quiet hiring is because they fundamentally cannot get the talent. There are more openings than there are people who can fill them. But to that point, there's another thing organizations can do, which is think more critically about their requirements for roles. And instead of hiring people with, we're looking for this degree and this amount of experience, ask for the skills you actually want, whether they're acquired through a degree, through work experience, through aptitude, however it is that someone might acquire those skills. Stop worrying about the credentials and start focusing on the skills that you need and hiring for those instead.
Is there a concern, though, about perhaps employee burnout? You're taking on more responsibility, and you know, many companies are concerned about whether or not we're heading into a recession. And so you might be taking on more responsibility, and there might not be much of a payoff in the next year or so if a company's not in a growth position. So are companies talking about burnout? Is there a plan to sort of balance it out?
So that is a great question and an absolute concern. In fact, this trend of quiet hiring is one of 9 that we're looking at for 2023. And one of the other trends that we're looking at is the reality that as a society, we have a collective trauma that we've all been going through for the last couple of years. And employers have to deal with that reality, that their employees en masse are going through something. And we've already seen that. Recently, in the last couple of years, we've started asking managers to do a lot more around mental health and supporting people's mental health, which is great. But it's also a massive shift in terms of what we're expecting from an employer. And we expect that to go even further. In fact, one of the things we're encouraging organizations to do is to very seriously consider proactive rest. So we're just going to shut down operations for a week and let everyone take a vacation. And we mean it. We're not going to be checking email, and we will be monitoring if your manager sends you email because they shouldn't. Or we're going to make not just no meeting Fridays, but shutting off business on Fridays for a couple days or a couple weeks. These kinds of things to proactively make it easy for people to rest and recover, because it's so much harder to recover when you're super depleted. And then if you never quite get to that super depleted point, it's much easier to recover.
I think it's
trying to avoid burnout.
I think it's a great point, Emily. What is the point? It's not what is the point, but I'm going to say, what is the point of providing all these support services for people as they are burning out when you could just not burn them out?
Excellent point.
Exactly.
Emily, Rose McRae, thank you so much for joining us. Really insightful. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.